Video is going to show you how you can create a listing for a trade via the web app. You can also create a listing via the mobile app. However, if you're wanting to share the trade privately with one other buyer or a group of buyers, then you must add the contact details into the list tab under the trading icon. Also, to be able to set up a trade via breeder, your animals must be BCMS synced. Please see our guide of how you can get your breeder account connected with BCMS. I'm going to show you first of all how you can add a contact into your lists. First of all, head over to the trading icon. Next, select the lists tab. Here you can see I've got a list of suppliers that I've previously sent trades to privately. If you're wanting to add a new contact to your list, then simply press the yellow plus icon button and fill in their details. So we need the name of the buyer, and the name of the business unit. So just for an example. And then you need to select create list. If you did need to edit their details at all, then you can simply click on the three dots and then edit the information. So now that I've got him added into a contact, I'm able to set up a trade either via the web app privately if I wanted to, or via the mobile app. So now we need to get the animals into the listing. So head over to your My Livestock icon, and there's two ways to get your animals into a listing. So the easiest way to do it, I would say, is for you to group your animals into the batch of animals that you're wanting to put up for sale. So for example, I've got a group here. So if you select the group tab, I've got a group here of 2021 calves that I would like to put a listing up. So if I select into the group, from here I can select create listing. So all the animals within the 2021 calves group is going to be entered for the listing. So if we select create listing, it will then bring up a table. So as you can see, I've got a warning. So this means that 6 animals within this group, only 5 are eligible to go for the trade, and this is because the animal is not BCMS synced. So you may want to check if the animal is actually shown on your CTS, or maybe an animal that you just need to mark off farm that is no longer on your breeder account. So I'm going to proceed with this trade, so I'm going to select create listing. This brings me to the create listing page, in where I require to enter a title. So for example, it could be reared calves, the breed of the animals, so any title that is suitable to your trade. A short description is also required about these animals. And then you need to select your location. So your business unit may only have one location, so it'll only be one option available. Or you may have multiple locations under your one organisation. If you're wanting to sell animals from different locations, then separate trades need to be set up under that location. We can't set a trade up that contain animals all over multiple holdings, so they need to be set up separately. So mine's under farm 1, where these animals are. We then need to select the farm TB risk status, so whether the animals do not require pre-movement testing. If they've had a movement test, when do they need to be moved by? So a date is needed. And we may also need to know if they require a pre-movement test, when do they need to be moved by? So as you can see, 5 animals have come across from my group of 2021 calves. Also, the information then will travel over to the farmer, the new buyer, with the current estimated weight and the last weight. We have an option if you wanted to add a picture in of the animals. And here we can enter the price per head. But this also works out approximately per kilogram basis as well. So it gives you that idea of per head and per kilogram basis. So here's the option here that if you didn't want to share your trade privately, then after you filled in the boxes, you would just press the agree to the terms and conditions, and this will allow you to create the listing. However, if you're wanting to share your trade privately, then we need to select from the drop down. So here is the list of buyers. As you can see, Tom Jones is now in there because I've just added him to my trade. So I could just share this listing with Tom, and then I'd be able to create the listing. Or if I wanted to select more of my suppliers, then I just go down the list and select how many that I want to share the trade to. And that trade will only go to that specific set of group that you've entered into Breeder and selected in this area here. But as mentioned, if you didn't want to share it privately and wanted to go out on the market to everyone, you would just ignore this bit and go straight to create a listing. So that's one way to get your animals in. The second way is that if you haven't grouped your animals, you could simply just go down your list of animals. As you can see, I've selected 4 and then create a listing that way. Obviously, it'll give you an error. So out of the 4, 2 animals can go into the trade. Location means that the animals aren't set at location, so you need to make sure that they're at your right holding on your location. And then you could go create listing, and that will bring you straight to the same page where you need to fill in the details. So that's how you can create a listing for a trade via the web app.